Okay, video number 2. I am currently cooking a pork roast, so any weird noises in the background are probably the oven heating up. Continuing to unbox a couple of things I got from Lulu. Up next, I've got the D30 Sandbox Companion, Old School Adventures Accessory AX2 from New Big Dragon. I think I have some other stuff from New Big Dragon by Richard J. LeBlanc Jr. D30 Mechanics, Charts and Tables to Support and Simplify the Role of the DM. Stuff on the back. I will attempt to get it into a range where you might be able to read it if you were so inclined. The print is rather small, but it does look like it's maybe in focus. Okay, so D30, of course, I have my D30. Actually, several. Thank you, DCC. Some nice art in the interior there. I saw a review of this. Actually, I ended up seeing a couple of reviews of this get suggested to me on YouTube not too long ago. Apologies. I'm going to try to show the table of contents. Not sure that's going to really show up too well on the old camera, but anyhow. I saw the reviews, and as I am trying still to put together this open table, sandbox, what have you, that's interesting. It has sort of a thicker back, but it's actually stapled. What is that, saddle stitch? I can't, that's not what it's called. Anyway, stapled together. Trying to put together a tabletop game and not having a great deal of success because I'm looking for in-person, not online, and it's hard to find in-person groups that are interested. It's hard to find in-person groups, but it's definitely hard to find them that are interested in things other than D&D or Pathfinder. And it's just hard to make friends when you're in your 40s and living in the suburbs, which, you know, there it is. So I want to do this, open table, sandboxy kind of game where players will be able to do a lot to choose where they go. Now, I have prepped something of a world map, local area world map kind of thing, but those are just some highlights, and I'm not going to put that in front of the players. I may give them some in-world prop maps to show, like, here's the next village over, or here's how to get through the overpass, or, whatever, I don't know. But actually going out and exploring, I want them to be able to do that, to find out what's out there. And this is actually one of the things I was really excited about, because one of the things that you see in a lot of tabletop RPGs, and I think about this because I think, looking at Lost Mine of Phandelver and Dragon of Icespire Peak, it's a classic example. Not only is Phandalin built in a weird place because there's no water source, which is like kind of nutty, but also a lot of our sort of ideas that I think hit in fantasy games in particular, a lot of our ideas about how towns form and how far they are away from each other are a little bit skewed. And when you go back to, and I know that the Middle Ages is reality, and these games are set in fantasy, and there's all kinds of other reasons, and whatever about different cultures, the fact is D&D is primarily a Northwestern European-based fantasy game. And so a lot of the presuppositions about the world are based a lot on France, England, Germany to a degree, and in their Middle Ages, but like the fantastical, the Hollywood movie version of their fantastical regions. Now, I know that there's a much larger variety. I'm not trying to, whatever, but that's the gist. And in that, it's very odd that some of the standards have become standard. And that includes things like, why are cities so far apart? Because in the Middle Ages, the next village over wasn't a week's travel away. the next village over was probably 4 or 5 hours walk away, because you had to go from village to village to village to do these things, to get places. And you knew you might not, yeah, sure, maybe you don't travel a lot, but you know the way to the next village. And you know somebody in the next village because you had to, because there was a small enough gene pool that you had to marry outside of your town. You had to move around, and people went on pilgrimages, and people went on trade expeditions. You know, there's all kinds of reasons why people were a little more mobile in some ways than we think of, but also just the fact that there's things closer. All that's to say, when you look at a map of a lot of fantasy settings, in particular, like a lot of the D&D maps and that sort of thing, there's a city, and then there's like 6 weeks journey to the next hamlet or something, where what would be more likely is, as you're traveling across those hexes in a hex crawl, you would find maybe there's 2 or 3 villages in that hex. Yeah, sure, maybe only one of them is a popular or named or whatever. So when you look on the map and you see Phandalin is in that hex, cool, yeah, probably. Okay, that's the notable one in there. But also in there are probably 3 or 4 other little hamlets or little villages that are scattered around. There might be reasons why there aren't, because of things like frontiers and blah, 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 and maybe, you know, warlords and who knows what's going on, but probably there are towns. And they are probably along water. Guys and gals from D&D, you know, remember that water is kind of important. Anyway, so this hex allows you to then break down the hex into smaller things. So you might have, this might be the hex that Phandalin is in, but also, you know, maybe Phandalin's here, and over here is some other town, and over here is some other town, and over there is some old temple, and over here is some other thing, you know. So anyway, it's got a key for all of that. So it's got a lot of, you know, worksheets for designing your area, one for gridding out settlements, NPCs, adventure generator table. Check that out. That's cool. And it's D30, so what do we have? Well, cock die, but 28. Trap. The trigger for this is a trap. Major goal is deal with a growing threat. Obstacle to the goal is 16, fight for freedom. Okay. Location is in a temple, sure. And location feature 14 is machine or clockwork. So, you know, you could put together something with that. That's pretty cool. What do we have? Phenomena. Charm, villain goal, and reason is forgotten reason. Okay. That could go with the clockwork. You know, if you have no idea why it's still doing it. It's still doing it because that's how it was made. Artifact or relic. There's a grimoire. The theme, glory. Key NPC. A noble teacher. Okay, so you know that's nice. And it does say use as many or as few tables as deemed appropriate for sparking adventure ideas, or ideas for adventures. I can read, and that's what tables are great for. It's just sparking ideas. You know, you don't have to use everything you find. Maybe you re-roll 1 or 2 because it doesn't fit, but sometimes when they don't fit, it's even more fun to try to make them fit. Prevailing weather conditions by season, climate, and terrain. Nice. Weather events by precipitation class. Cool. Off-course determination. I think this is like if you get lost, like where you're going, figuring out where you actually go. Foraging and hunting by terrain and season. Natural formations and phenomena. What do we have? I'm sure my oven alarm is going to go off in a minute here. 22. Pond. Well, I'm not going to roll for each one. Natural features and phenomena definitions. Nice. Settlement and habitation population by population density. Ruins generator, another ruins generator, like in the Mutant Crawl Classics thing. Temple generator, cult generator. This stuff is great. Magical places generator, pilgrims generator. So this is going to be super helpful for like adventure design. If you're stuck for ideas, chances are, because of the way I run game, I'm not gonna be rolling these at the table. I'm gonna be rolling these pre-game to set up where they might stumble across next or what have you. But these are super helpful. Settlement background, assorted settlement encounters, methods of torture and execution. That's terrible. City guard, city watch. Okay. Shop and shopkeeper information. Great. And this stuff, while it's old school adventures. I don't know if that's, I can't remember if that's an actual game, but I think it's just in general for like old school games, which even though I don't think DCC necessarily fits with that whole thing, the debate is there, but it certainly can make use of most of the old school style stuff. Easily can be done. Let's see. NPC occupations, nobles, noble house personnel, sage generator, nice. Lots of stuff for developing NPCs, henchmen and hirelings, and then an index. That's fantastic. So, yeah, this came highly recommended. It looks good. It looks like it's going to be super helpful. The whole this bit here, frankly, is like one of the things I was really looking forward to, is taking those hexes and then breaking them down smaller so that I've got my hamlets and my more individualized pieces of setting that I think people can you can really then take your time to explore these hexes and really spend a good deal of time in an area. I think it could be a lot of fun. So, my hope is I can get a sandbox game going on before the end of the world. That'd be great. And that's it. Check out my usual stuff down below. That's all I got from Lulu, so this will be the second and final video for my Lulu print-on-demand order. But, check out my links down below where you can see this usual stuff that I blah, blah about. And, of course, you can always check out my blog where I do reviews and my Patreon and all of that usual stuff. So, thanks a lot for tuning in, and I will talk to you later.